Well, Facebook's marketplace is the latest, I suppose, of these online-based marketplaces like Gumtree that you go to buy product or service from other people who have a product to sell. Unfortunately, the rise of these marketplaces also will require you, a person who's consuming that product or service from a social media place, to be alert to potential counterfeit sales. Joining me on the line is Paul Ramara, partner at Spoor and Fisher. Paul, a very good morning and welcome to the show.
Morning to you and morning to the listeners at home.
What are some of the ways, I suppose, we can be fooled into thinking we are exchanging money for a product or service when all we're doing is giving money to a scamster?
Yeah, so the objective with counterfeiters when they sell these goods, it's always to deceive the consumer, to make a product look more like an original and just take the money and go away. That's really the objective. They don't care about the consumer. All they care about is just making the money.
And so, as a person who is potentially going to be fooled into thinking I'm buying an actual product or service, what advice would you give me? What do I need to do ahead of parting with my money to ensure that that product or service is actually a real one, as opposed to a figment of somebody's imagination?
Yeah. So, there are two things. If you buying things, from a shop down the street in Cape Town, the first thing you have to look at is just the way the shop looks. If you go into an egg gas store, the type of quality goods that they keep. But if you go to some of the shops, they sell a lot of stuff. You find bicycles, you find clothing in one shop. That's already an indication that they may not be keeping the right stuff in their shop. The second thing you have to look at is the price. If the price is too good to be true, it probably is. Thirdly, spelling errors. Majority of this counterfeit goods originate from the East, particularly China. And, they speak Mandarin. And often you find that on the labels, they are spelling errors. The other thing you can look at is, of course, the quality of the sewing. I've looked at most counterfeit goods. If you look at the sewing quality, you find that it's generally very poor. You have to look at the overall product. Often you'll pick up mistakes that are on the shoe or on the apparel. Lots of mistakes. You find that the coloring of the garment is actually different. So, those are some of the things that you can look at.
Once you have been fooled into thinking that the product or service that you're buying is a real one, I then part with money, and then Paul, who's selling me that product or service, disappears. What recourse do I have legally and otherwise as a person who's been scammed by you?
Yeah, so disappearing is not as easy. Someone is running a shop most likely because you have given an incentive for them to continue. They'll more likely be there. Assuming that they are there, what can be done is you can lay a complaint. The Act makes provision for someone to proactively go to a police station and lay a complaint. But generally, you could even contact the brand which is affected here. The other alternative is, of course, to contact a law firm such as ours. We will be in contact with the client. I have received emails in the past from consumers directly, and I just bring it to the attention of the client if that product carries a trademark of our client. And we will then, of course, lay a proper complaint on your behalf. So in South Africa, we have a legislation that is specifically dedicated to fighting counterfeiting, which is called the Counterfeit Good Act. So we lay a complaint with the police, in particular the commercial crime unit. They will then go ahead and apply for what we call a search and seizure warrant. Once the search and seizure warrant is approved, we will then carry what we call a search and seizure operation. In other words, a raid with a view to removing the counterfeit goods from the store. And the seller of the counterfeit goods will then face a criminal case.
And the obviously interest of your client whose goods are being counterfeited is in removing those products from any marketplace in order for somebody like Africa Melane who's thinking, oh, I'm getting that nice bag for my cousin from a popular, expensive brand, that cousin of mine is not left displeased and associate that displeasure with the actual client, right?
Absolutely. We have to remove it from the market.
Paul Ramara, thank you very much indeed for your insights into this very important topic. Paul Ramara, partner at Spoor and Fisher. Have you been a victim of a counterfeit good, product or service that has been sold in one of these marketplaces? And what have you done in the process to try and recover some of the money that you may have lost? Facebook Marketplace is the latest, obviously, that is growing in popularity. Instagram announcing the launch of an in-app checkout feature for retailers. The new feature allowing customers to tap, to view, purchase products from a brand's shopping post, providing another revenue stream for the Facebook-owned company on top of advertising. There are currently more than 20 participating launch partners, including Adidas, Burberry, H&M, Nike, Revolve, Dior, Michael Kors, and Warby Parker. Payment methods include Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and PayPal, according to Instagram. And in the future, there will be direct integrations with retailers for purchases, or they can use e-commerce platforms like Shopify, Magento, or BigCommerce to obviously transact with you. So there's yet another application and another marketplace that will be supposedly making your consuming behavior easier and convenient. But as Paul Ramara was indicating, it also is breeding ground for counterfeit sales. So you have to keep on top of it.